it goes back to the residual bills. So you have residual bills, you want this residual income. If you're a stylist, like I was, and if I were to cut my finger, first of all, that hurts really, really bad. And I probably would be out for a couple days. You can't be bloody all over someone's head. So, I mean, it's little things like that stylists have to think about, like, you know, cutting yourself or hurting an arm or a finger or we don't have the luxury to, losing my train of thought. We don't have the luxury to just, you know, we don't get paid unless we're working. So we can't just call in a day or two and take sick days because we don't have the luxury of getting paid unless we go into work. So being sick or having kids that are sick or whatever, stylists actually need this. Like, I don't even think they need it. I honestly, I didn't think I needed it, and I really didn't want it until I realized that I did need it. So, I don't know. I guess I would just, like you're saying, if you're a distributor and you sit down in your stylist chair, is that what you're asking?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, I would just say, why not? Why wouldn't you do this? I would say, like, do you have retirement? Because we don't. As stylists, we do not have retirement. We have nothing. We don't have two legs to stand on. We are balancing on one. So, but most of us are just trying so hard to gain that clientele and this huge clientele that we're not thinking of anything else on the side. We're just too busy focusing on that. So to bring something like this into our business, it's not something we're thinking about. But like I said, it took me 4 months. I joined, and it still took me that long to go, like, duh. I mean, this is probably the best thing I could have ever done. So yeah, I mean, get your stylist on board and just keep at them with a smile. Like, I wouldn't be annoying about it, but at the same time, do not let it off the hook either. Because if most stylists are like me, we're all kind of the same. We're kind of like airheady, wishy-washy, very blue. And something will click one day and you'll go, oh yeah, that sounds good. But you could be talking about it with me for a year. So you just have to just keep at it in a really, you know, keep asking them, but not in an annoying way. Just, you know, have you thought any more about it? I mean, I really think you'd be really amazing on my team. And I know some stylists. I mean, literally hook them up with me. I'll help you out by talking to them about why this is so good for a stylist. So you can put me in a 3-way message and I'll help you out with that.
That's awesome. That's huge. That's a big deal, you guys. Take her up on that. For those of you that are on the Zoom right now, if you guys have a stylist that's, you know, on board, one thing that I've always done is I always try to get the wrap on my stylist. There's times where, you know, like sometimes we're like, all right, I don't have anybody left to talk to. So I'll go to different salons, and Trisha Mayer actually taught me this, and I will go and get just my hair washed and blown out and styled, you know, if somebody's free and stuff, because it gives me an opportunity to talk to someone. It cost me $20 to have that done, but now I have a new contact, and I try to get the wrap on them on the spot, because we want the wrap to do the talking for us. We want that to be that sizzle. We have a first to market product. So if you guys think of back, like when Brazilian blowouts came in and it was kind of like a hot thing, like these salons would advertise a certain product or this certain feature because it was something unique and different to them. And this is something that they can add, whether it's a stylist that's, you know, chair rental, booth rental, or, you know, the owner of the company, you know, let that wrap do the talking for you. A lot of my stylists in the salons, they deal with greens. They deal with the wraps and the hair, skin, and nails, and they might dabble in a few other things, but those are typically their 3 hot things that they'll offer, and maybe even have right on their stand. But I think it's huge. You know, you guys can't be afraid. You know, if you're like me and you go every 6 weeks because you got gray coming in, and I have a hair appointment tomorrow. That's why you all are seeing me in a hat for the last like week's worth of pictures, because, you know, we go back to them regularly and we have that relationship with them. So it's definitely, you know, we have a gift to share. So we don't want you guys to be afraid to talk to them. You know, Shame on you if somebody else walks in right behind you and offers them a coupon and talks to them about it and signs them up. Now you got to find a new hairstylist.
Yep. You have to present this opportunity. Mm-hmm. You have to. I mean, you can't just assume that someone knows what you're doing and they're going to want to hop on board. They don't even know what it is to join your team half the time. So you have to ask. You have to put it out there. And keep asking. Unless you get like a hard no, don't ever talk to me again, block on Facebook, keep at it. Because if Amy hadn't kept on to me, I would see her messages and I'd just be like, it would be an eye roll, but it wouldn't be because I wasn't interested in what she was saying. I was too busy at that time. It was wedding season for me. It was like, I can't take on anything else new right now. This is crazy. And so, I was ignoring her messages like crazy. She would even see my little bubble, pop down. I'm like, crap. She saw me, so. But then I finally met her. I said yes to going to Novi, actually, which is actually pretty far for me. And I was annoyed that I had to go to Novi. I was so annoyed by it. I'm like, I'm going so far. Why did I say, why did I commit to this? But something kept pulling me. And, Amy's heart is just so good. So you can just feel her passion and her love for this. And she got me hooked just on her positivity. She wasn't pushy, but she did ask. I mean, she kept asking. She's like, this would be so good for you. I'm like, yeah, I know, just I can't right now, and I wasn't mad. I wasn't annoyed. It just wasn't my time. And even when I joined, it wasn't my time. Came around 4 months later. So you guys have to keep going. Don't think you're annoying people. Unless they come out and tell you, just don't contact me anymore. You have to keep asking because they're not going to think about it. They're not going to think about it. This isn't their priority. So, this is your priority because this is your business. But, it's the same thing when people are going through a wedding or like having a baby that is like their whole world is revolved around, this wedding or this baby. This is my baby right now. I'm trying to grow this baby. So for me, it's super, super, super important. But the people that I'm contacting, they don't necessarily think this is very important. This isn't on their to-do list. So unless you get them at the right time, that right day where they're in a really good mood, I'm telling you, I'm bipolar in this business. I mean, I go day to day of like, I'm on top of the world, and the next day I'm just not feeling like anything or anybody, and I'm just crazy. So, yeah.
That definitely happens, and one thing that Cammie had said, she made a short video just a couple of days ago, and it said the average 80% of the people that join this business have to be asked to join this business between 5 and 12 times. Wasn't it like 5 and 12? Did you see that? You know what I'm talking about, don't you? It was
I know what you're talking about, yeah.
It was like a crazy number, and I actually think it was actually between 8 and 12 times that people have to be asked to join this business. So just because I know we're all going BOGO crazy right now, and that's why I don't want to take a whole lot of time tonight, but when we are reaching out to people and maybe they're not responding, maybe they've seen our message and they're not responding back, maybe they, said, not right now is not a good time. It's all about timing in the business because, Kristen, had you joined 4 months prior, and when Amy initially asked you and maybe you missed your 4 loyal customers in 30 days because you weren't into this business, you might have already felt like you failed and you might not have even given this a fair shake. So you guys have to remember it's a lot about timing in this business too, no matter who you're talking to. So it's a good thing to remember. And I think that you just have such a powerful story. Not only do you own your own, on-site hair and makeup business, but you also were one that took your time in really jumping into this with 2 feet. And I think there's a lot to be said with that. And I think so many of us get discouraged when we don't have that instant gratification of yes, yes, yes. And just consider those seeds planted and, get those wraps on those stylists. My other question to you is when you are doing your hair and makeup, how do you bring up the conversation to your girls? Is it just as simple as handing them a coupon when they're sitting in your chair, or are you drinking your greens in front of them? Like, what are you doing?
it is nonchalantly because I don't want, this is for their wedding. So I don't want to sit there and like throw a sales pitch in their face. Nobody ever wants to be sold to. So basically they'll sit down and I'm behind them, in the chair. So I just start asking questions about them and I want to get to know them. And where are you going for your honeymoon? And then usually sometimes I lie and I'll say, oh my gosh, well, I'm going to, I think we're going to go to Cancun in a month. And so I better start rapping. And they're like, rapping? What's rapping? What do you mean? And I'm like, oh my gosh, anytime I go on vacation, I have to get ready. I have to rap. And they're like, well, what is it? And I'm like, here it is. Because I always have it on hand. And then, of course, I'm always drinking my greens. You guys do that when you go to Kroger, when you go to the bank, when you go anywhere. You have, even if it's a hot bottle of greens that's been sitting in there for 5 days, you don't have to drink it, just have it. And that way, because people are going to look at that green water and ask what it is. So, it's a very nonchalant way to bring it up. If I'm going into the wraps, and of course all brides want wraps. So
do you usually bring it up during the trial time? Is that typically when you are bringing it up a little bit more? Because obviously the wedding day, you might have more focus, I'm assuming, on the bridesmaids versus the bride. But when you're doing trials for the bride, I'm assuming you're like, okay, well, you got a couple weeks to go. Is that usually when you're bringing it up?
Always to the bride. I will bring it up at the trial. And then generally I'll give them a packet of on the go and I'll say, drink this on your wedding day, or I'll give them 2 and I'll say, try this so you know what you'll feel like, but then you're going to want to drink on the wedding day. So usually in the morning I go there and they're sitting there with their greens, and then the bridesmaids are like, what is that? What are you drinking? And I'm like, oh, I have more samples. You guys want to feel really good tonight. Keep your energy up. A lot of these bridesmaids bring in Red Bulls and like, Monsters and all kinds of stuff. I'm like, if you guys want to feel like crap and you want to crash at 7:00 before all the good stuff starts, then keep going with that. But and if you guys want sustainable energy, then you're going to want to try this. So generally, it's more the greens for the bridesmaids. But I've sold wraps, at weddings. Mm-hmm. Just because people have asked. I always have something on me that it works. So I don't necessarily wear a shirt, but I'll wear my bracelets, and somebody will ask,
That's awesome. I think a lot of people that work other jobs, maybe you guys aren't in, the salon industry, but you guys work other jobs. So these are great tips that you guys can take back to work with you in a nonchalant way and maybe get them to ask you about it works, like seeing a bracelet and things like that. Because it's so true. We don't want to definitely offend anyone or to, bother them, especially a bride on her wedding day and stuff. But now I'm assuming the answer is yes, but you probably friend every single person on Facebook.
Everyone. Absolutely. I'm reaching a limit. I think I'm getting kind of high there, but I don't care. I will friend every single person.
Yeah, that's awesome. Because you got them in your chair. Of course, they're going to tell you your name. Like, I have to say somebody's name like 15 times before I remember, but I'm sure you probably got your phone right there. Either you're like, hey, add me on Facebook, or maybe you remember their names and stuff. But I think that's really important too, because you've already started that relationship. And this is, at the end of the day, a relationship business. And, Kristen then could go back to these girls, especially for these BOGO deals that we're having right now, and be like, hey, Christine, I did your hair for, Susie's wedding. That was so much fun. I remember that you said you had something coming up, or you did this as a profession. How's that going for you? And open that door in that conversation. Let that fester for a second. Don't go in for the kill right away. There's a right way and a wrong way to do this. When you just go in without ever having a conversation beyond that point, a lot of times, not always, but a lot of times they won't respond to you. But if you can get something where you guys had a common ground or knew a little bit about them, open that door, and then go in for, hey, by the way, our CEO just announced blah, blah, blah. That usually works pretty well. So keep that in mind. When you guys are friending these people on Facebook, Carrie and Marcy shared with me earlier, you guys know about Facebook lists. If you don't, you guys need to watch the 100-Day Adventure with John Eric. That is in Legacy Leaders. But you have Facebook lists. It's not a group. And they said, I know probably a lot of you guys are the same way that I am. When I go through my news feed, it's mostly It Works distributors, which is great, but I want to see other people too. And so what they said was to add those people to those lists, but make sure you're keeping up with your others list, like your potential distributors list, because what that's going to do is it actually changes the algorithm of your Facebook news feed. So if you're adding these people, let's say you add all It Works distributors, whether they're on your team or other teams, you add them into one list, like It Works distributor list, and then you have like your potentials, whether they're customers, distributors, you can add those into a different list. It's going to change the algorithm of your news feed. Another thing that I started doing, and especially someone like Kristen that friends, multiple people all the time, 4 or 5 times a week that she's adding, 20 people a day. What I like to do is I go through, and I just really started this recently, is going through the green light challenge, which most of you guys know what that is, but the green light means that they're online, they're on Facebook right now, and going through that green light challenge, and I have yet to get all the way through my A's. Like every single time I do this, I'll spend a good hour. I go through, see who's, It Works, and then who's not. And then if they're not It Works and they don't have any mutuals that are with It Works, they're going in my potential distributor list. And I tell you what, my newsfeed has completely changed. Like I'm seeing people that I didn't even remember I was friends with. Stuff's popping up again and stuff. So there's just a little nugget for you guys. So try to stay organized, especially when you guys are, sending friend requests and things like that. If you guys are in an industry or a profession where you are, around a lot of people or adding new people like that, I try to make sure I add at least 5 people every single day. But all right, Kristen, well, I would love for you to take it away with our guest that's on tonight, Miss Christine. I think I seen her. There she is. Do you want me to mute you, girl? There we go. I unmuted you. You're good. I'm going to mute myself, okay?
Okay.
Okay, so let me tell you about Chrissy. So Chrissy and I met about 10 years ago, and we met actually on our honeymoons. So, and I hadn't talked to her since. She used to live in Canada, and then she moved to Tennessee. So she's all by herself in Tennessee, meaning like, when I have meetings here, we'll try to put her on Zoom and get her into the, involved with the calls and stuff. But she's pretty much all on her own in Tennessee. So she's been doing this for about a year, and she came to conference, and it literally, I have seen a complete change in you. It has lit a fire.
Oh, man.
You came to the green side, and it was like, I saw this switch flip. So, and you're running to Ruby right now.
Yeah, just about there.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, you're super right. And like Kristen was saying, I ignored her for about 6 to 8 months, I think, probably. Might have been. We were always in contact, and I saw her sign up with this new business, and I kept seeing all these skinny wrap posts, and I was like, what the hell is this girl talking about? But anyway, I love you, but I was like, what is a skinny wrap? So anywho, she told me like 100 times, oh, you need to do this with me. Come on. It's so much fun. All this stuff. And I had actually done network marketing before, with Origami Owl, and it was nothing. It's just a complete 180, I feel like, of what I have experienced with It Works. And, you say the green side, but it's so true. Like when I first signed up after, I don't know, 6 months or whatever of you pestering me, I finally saved. And I have to say, I think a lot of it was like, I had to basically ask permission, and this was part of my reasoning for wanting to do it. I had to reason about, why we needed to spend the $99 for me to join and buy my business kit. And getting my husband on board was a really big feat. he wasn't super supportive. He doesn't have the mindset. He's not an entrepreneurial, he doesn't have that spirit, doesn't have that mind frame. I hate working for other people. I hate it. And I'll do my job and I'll do it to the best of my ability. But I think it's always been kind of clear, I don't want to, and when we moved here to Tennessee, I started my own business. And Catherine, you're on the call. You were one of my first customers. I had this business where I used to make chair covers for kids, for babies and kids. And, but I needed to do something. I couldn't just be the mom. I hated it so much. And that got actually to be too out of hand for me. And, sort of spiraled. I did one advertisement and I had 4,000 orders. And I was like, I can't, I'm not a sweatshop. I couldn't do it. So all I was doing was sewing. I had a baby and a toddler, and anyway, so it was a mess. But so I did the network marketing thing because I thought, okay, I can stay home. My husband was gone 15 hours a day. And like I said, I'm here by myself. I had no family. I barely knew a soul. And when you have babies, it's hard to get out of the house. It's hard. And I was really struggling to be a person. And so I thought, okay, what's the, easiest path here? And so I did give the network marketing a try for 2 years. And I only thought of it as, a way to sort of socialize, and it paid for Christmas gifts and, the odd pair of shoes. And, but that's all I took from it. But there was no team. There was none of this. There was none of this. It was a Facebook page and email customer service with your questions. And so, I thought, okay, so here's how this works. The people who sign up, the most people at first are the ones who are going to make money. And I'm going to have to keep buying all this friggin' inventory and investing all this money. I mean, it got me a tax return because I showed a huge loss my first year, but that was it. So I was done. I just was like, okay, cool. You can only have so much jewelry. And then anyway, so, I've never tried a product. I think Kristen sent me one sample of Green's orange, and I was like, whoa, but,
sorry.
So, it's okay. So anyway, I finally said, there was just something in my head. I just needed to. I went for about, 4 years with just doing the mom thing, and it was busy, and your kids keep you constantly on the go. And like I said, Mark is always gone, and now he's got a new job. He's traveling every week, so that didn't get any better. But I finally, there's something, the last time we had talked about it, my head was just do it, just do it. You need to do it. And so I, had to write out a business plan for him. So just to convince him that this wasn't going to be a pyramid scheme or a scam. I wasn't going to lose more money because he had already seen, what the other network marketing experience was. And so I had to sell him on that. And I did, and he's very thankful now. And he will be more thankful so in the next coming months. So that's good. But I still think, I feel like I never saw it. I knew, she showed me the income chart, and I was kind of like, oh, that's where Kristen's at. Look at this. And she's only been doing it for, I think it was 1.5 years at that time. And so that's what got Mark. He was like, oh, okay. He's all red, money, 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 money. So anyway, so needless to say, I signed up, and that was fine. I think though, I didn't get it. I sat at a distributor for a year, and I had maybe 80 customers or close to it, something like that. I was up and around there, maybe 70, I don't know. Mm-hmm. But then Kristen was like, you need to do, I brought it up to everybody I talked to, because I started on the greens. I had all these problems. I have an amazing testimony for greens. They literally did a 180 on my health, and that's amazing. So I shared it with everyone, and I was super good at getting loyal customers, but I was not sharing the business. And she kept telling me you have to share this. Like, how dare you, you know? And I didn't get it. I didn't. I was like, okay, I don't want to bug people. I don't want to bug people with it, you know? And it was a big insecurity. Like, I didn't want people to think I was bothering them or trying to suck money out of them or trying to con them or whatever. And my gosh, it's just not that way. You know, it's just not. And so she told me, come to conference. We're going to get a house. And I, you know, like you said, I'm by myself, so I never do the team thing. And I was kind of apprehensive, like, oh, I don't know any of these girls. You know, talking to people on Facebook is one thing, but, you know, having a room with people. And anyway, so I was like, okay, you know, that's fine. I'm going to go. And I had to pull some punches to go, but I went, and it was the best friggin' thing I've ever done. Like, probably better than actually signing up. It was probably better. But you're right. This is so weird. Nobody's responding.
I told you. It's very awkward.
But anyway, and so I went, and I don't know, I was feeling very cynical and, you know, just like, okay, like, this is fun. I get to go on a little vacation and, you know, maybe have some drinks with some girls, and, ooh, there's a party. I get to wear a dress. I mean, I don't get to do any of this stuff. I'm a mom, you know, and I don't know what happened to me was it probably the second night, and we had a bunch of people come back, and I got smacked from the inside. Yeah. Like, get off your ass and start working. Because if I'm honest with myself, I really wasn't working, you know? I was sharing what I liked about the products, and I was signing up customers, and I wasn't maintaining them all, but, you know, I was doing okay in that department. I was bringing in a couple $100 a month, and that was fine and whatever. But holy crap, after conference, that changed really fast. So I went from having like one distributor who was my mom, and, you know, I was running her business because she's like, oh, you know, it'll help you. And now I have 7, and we are adding, I think, at least one next week, hopefully next week. And then, you know, Catherine has one. She just added one. Good job, girl. And she's got another potential, and we've got another potential under Bethany, my soon-to-be executive. So I'm so excited, and I can't tell you. I literally sat at distributor for 1 year, and I thought, I'm never going anywhere. Like, I didn't even think I belonged at conference. Do you remember I said that to you the night I got there? I was like, I don't feel like I belong here. Like, am I the only distributor? You know, and you know what? Everybody belongs there. Like, you need to go. It was amazing. It was very surreal for me. Being in that cynical, pessimistic mindset for so long. It's like I got in the mom rut, and I really started to lose myself, and I hated every second of it. Nothing made me happy or laugh. And I mean, I was really good at faking it, but I don't need to fake it anymore, and that makes me really happy. So, yay!
It does. It like completely changes your mindset. And
it does. And once you adopt that, like, you know, it sounds corny or whatever to people who haven't got that smack in the ass yet, but I probably shouldn't say that anymore because Kendra's baby is right beside her. But you know, once you do, it's like, why was I fighting that so much? It's just, you know, even like my husband will come home and he'll be in a rotten mood or whatever. It rolls right off my back. I don't care, you know. It takes a lot to bring me down now. It really does, and I'm super happy about it. So
you see the bigger picture now, though.
You do,
so,
yeah.
And you do, and when you hit that green side, you're like, bing, like nothing matters. I have this massive business that I'm growing, whether it takes 2 years to get there or 10 years to get there.
Yep. And I think Kendra's pointed it out, you know, at the OTOM too. I've heard several leaders say it, like there's 8 ranks. And if it took you 1 year to hit each one, who cares, right? Like, you're not going to get that working for someone. Like, I have a job out. So I went back to work the same time I started at work, which actually, Kendra, you're right. It really does help to get out there. And a lot of my customers come in, I'll talk to people who I work out with, or customers will come in the store, and it's a specialty running store. So, they're about health and wellness, and they want to feel better, and they want help with their workouts and whatever. And so that's very helpful, but I don't want to work there the rest of my life. Like I don't, so it does help. Yes. But, anyway, I don't know. I don't know if I have anything else to add, but you told me to wing it.
You did so good. She was so nervous.
No, I'm not nervous. I was mad because you told me you were going to interview me. I was like, sure, I can answer questions. Go ahead, shoot. Wing it, Chris. It's okay. Sure.
No, you did awesome. Thank you so much for sharing that.
Thank you for asking me.
For sure.
Yeah.
I just love your story and love that you were with another company before. And I don't think people realize what they have their hands on with It Works. We don't have inventory. Our overhead every single month in this business, whether you are a distributor or an ambassador diamond in this company, is 80 BV. And the reason why we have that 80 BV, for one, is so that you can fall in love with these products and become passionate about them, and they're consumable. If you are consistent with our products, you are going to need more at the end of the month. And the other reason is that so that it guarantees that you're getting paid. If you're not running that 80 BV auto ship, you are putting your paycheck in jeopardy. And why are we all doing this? So that we can make extra money and help more people, and make extra money and help more people and continue that process. And so I just love that because, you realized what a blessing it was that you were with Origami before, and you were able to say, you know what, I really have my hands on something really good right now. And I also love what you said. You were a great loyal customer collector. I can see probably 6 people that are on the Zoom right now that are rock stars with loyal customers, but they haven't flipped that switch yet.
Right.
How you say it? Flip that switch. I always feel like I'm saying it wrong. You guys haven't flipped that yet in order to say, you know what, I'm going to start asking for distributors. Once that clicks for you, just like Chrissy, your whole entire business is going to change. I promise you it will.
Yeah. And that's the thing, we were talking about what'd you do differently, and I think too, I wasn't being intentional, I wasn't being thoughtful about what I was posting. I would see and you're doing the share thing at first, and no sharing, don't share posts, and I think too, I started trying to talk to an individual. If I was talking to one person, when I called Catherine, we've been best friends since we were 3, Catherine, 4 maybe, and so I was like, she's been a loyal customer of mine for 1 year, a whole year. Our products are sort of second to none. But I'm like, why am I not sharing this with her? She's killing it. She's got her first, which you've been in a month. She's got her first distributor. She's got 12 loyal customers at least, maybe more. I don't know. She's adding them all the time. I can't keep up. But, and she, when I talked to her, she got her first paycheck and she's like, holy crow, I'm so excited. I wasn't expecting that. I was like, yeah, that's amazing. Good for you. And it only goes up. Right. And once, I came back from conference, I think like you said, I flipped a switch, and I really I started being more intentional and messaging people, and I was like, why am I scared? People aren't scary. I'm not scared of people in person. What am I scared to ask people for a party, or hey, do you think you could try our greens out, or can I send you a sample, and really think about the business and blah blah blah. It is helpful to people, and we should be sharing it, and whether it's using a product or hey, getting involved in the business. I got over that fear in a big hurry after conference. So, yeah.
It does. It takes your confidence level, you know, and I think that's all it is in this business too. If you don't have that confidence yet, it's just building it. And every meeting, every phone call, every Zoom, everything you say yes to builds that much more of your confidence.
Yeah.
And that's what it takes to approach somebody. You can't go up to someone and go, hi, well, I don't really know Do you want to try the greens? Okay.
Oh, I have this thing. Yeah.
Yeah, you can't do that. You have to like own it. And
Yeah.
the only way you're going to own something is if you're like trying the product yourself. You guys, when I first started this, I had bills and collections. I was running my auto ship, my 80 BV auto ship every month, trying something new. I knew I had to have the greens, and then I was trying something new. It took me a year to try the facial line because I could not afford to do that. And I let bills go into collections because I saw something so huge. This was so much more important to me. And I probably shouldn't share that. I don't really know like if that's even like a good thing to say, but it definitely paid off. So it just, it's where your priorities are at, and making excuses and all that, you can't. Every one of you on this tonight, you made a conscious choice to turn on your phone and punch in that number and hit Zoom and come into this conference. That's a really big deal. Every single choice you make like that, I mean, that's just going to build your business. Something that me, Kendra, or Chrissy said might resonate with one of you guys, and you'll sign your next distributor tomorrow, or tonight.
Oh,
so you might get off the phone and go crazy and just start messaging just because you'll have that fire lit. So yeah.
Absolutely. One thing, I need to remember both of these. I'm going to write them down because I'm going to forget. I already forgot the other one. I knew I would. 5 seconds of courage. Okay. So we all have that chicken list, right? And those people that we're deathly afraid to talk to, for whatever reason, maybe you think they're really successful in their career, or you're afraid of their personal rejection towards you. Whatever that is, we all have that chicken list. But something that Alyssa Bayou said at the training on Saturday at Diamond Ways in South Bend, she said, I don't believe in that. I believe in 5 seconds of courage. And so what I encourage you guys all to do for this rest of this evening, we still have a few hours left of this BOGO, just hit send. Just do it. Have that 5 seconds of courage. Believe in yourself. Know that it's okay. You're not going to die. It'll be okay. And what if somebody says yes? We have to be the hunters, not the hunted, because at the end of the day, we need to be talking to people. We need to be finding Kristens and Chrissy's and, Amy's in this business. And we need to be going after them, and we can't sit around and wait for them to come to us because they're not going to. They might be afraid to ask us about this business opportunity because what would we think of them if they need extra money? Or what would we think of them if they said, hey, I really need those wraps. I'm really good at taking selfies, but I put on 10 pounds. People don't know, and until we reach out to them and ask them, the answer is always going to be no. So we need to take that 5 seconds of courage, and I challenge every single one of you tonight. I've got 2 challenges for you guys. The first one is have that 5 seconds of courage on 5 people tonight, and I want you guys to share in Legacy Leaders and say, I did it. I had my 5 seconds of courage. I did it tonight, and I messaged 5 people that I was deathly afraid of, and guess what? I didn't die. And the second thing is I want you guys to write down 4 or 5 hairstylists or salons that you guys can go visit or talk to this week. You guys still have time yet this month, so write down, I would say 5. Let's just stick with 5. That seems like a good number right now. 5 salons or hairstylists that you guys can personally have a conversation with, try to get that wrap on, and get that ball moving, because we all know stylists. We all know salon owners. We all know these people that are in those professions, and why are we not talking to them? Like Kristen said, most of them, like when you said they're mostly blue, you're so right, because I was thinking about all the stylists I know. I'm like, yeah, they're red and blue. Yep, those are my favorite kind of people. Perfect. Okay. So, and I'm doing this myself, you guys. I still have oodles of people that I haven't reached out to because they're on my 5 seconds of courage list, not my chicken list anymore. But, one thing that resonated well with Kristen and Chrissy as well is we have to be doing that personal development and that self-development in ourselves, because there are days, like Kristen said, she's like, I'm a bipolar in this business. And it happens to all of us. You guys are going to have a bad day, but they're going to go by faster than before. So your good day or your bad days at the beginning might linger for 2 or 3 days. And then once you figure out how to move through that, it'll be maybe a couple hours that you're in this funk, but you're going to have it in life. It's such as life. So it's not, it works. It's just how things go. And the more personal development you can do, the more you are going to stay in that positive mindset and that good place. You're going to continue to keep pushing forward. And also you're going to have thoughts of your own. Do you guys ever catch yourself in a cut and paste mode where you can't think of posts by yourself? Like you have to go and stalk some of your favorite posters and steal some of their posts. And I do that all the time, retweak it, add some different emojis or whatever. But the more personal development you guys can do, and I'll give you guys some examples. I'll post some stuff on Legacy Leaders too, but you can do Audible, you can read books, you can do podcasts. We'll get a thread going of some of our, all of our favorite books and different things that we can do. But the more you can do that, the more ideas and thoughts and more confident you're going to be in yourself. And in turn, that's going to trickle down into your business. And I truly believe that it works. I think Dave Sasek always said this, it works is a personal development journey with a compensation plan. And I couldn't agree with that more because I've learned more about myself in this 5.5 years than I ever that I was like, whoa, like, I'm stronger than I thought I was. I am a fighter. I am going to do these things. And you put yourself out there and you achieve those goals and become a better person and a better mom and a better wife or a better dad or whatever the case may be. And I credit a lot of that to that personal development that comes along with this business. The only other couple of things, if you guys have anything you guys want to add, the only other stuff that I want to talk about is one teams that we have coming up. So we have our Lansing area one team, one mission coming up tomorrow night. I believe that is in Diamondale, Michigan. That is with our Ambassador Diamonds, Genesis and Andy Boyd, which will be fantastic. If you guys are within an hour, 3 hours, 5 hours of there, I would get there. It'll be well worth your time. Get your prospects there. Of course, we go to get our cups filled as well, but we want you to be taking prospects. If somebody, maybe you guys got some stylists by tomorrow that you need to take, I don't know, but get them there to these because you're going to hear from top leaders in the company. Just like Chrissy, Chrissy flew in from Tennessee to come in for Kristen's first one team, and that was a really, really, really big deal. And I'm sure it filled your cup because that was probably the first event you've been to since conference, right?
It was, yeah.
And what did it do for you? Did it like rejuvenate you and kind of get that fire?
Gosh. You know what? Like when I met these girls at conference and I felt like I had known them forever, and I got to see them again, and they're just like sisters. I mean, there's really not a whole, like, there's not a lot of words to say what they actually do for you. It's just, yeah, you do rejuvenate. It's, I was just I don't know, just warm and fuzzies. Like, it just sets the fire all over again. And I was so proud of Kristen, and, because she overcame a giant fear of hers too. Mm-hmm. And you did amazing. I mean, you didn't die either.
I didn't die.
Not dead.
No.
So yeah, it was really important for me to be there. And so I'm super happy I was able to.
Yeah, absolutely. We were happy to see you as well, but you just never know what that little nugget is that you're going to get, and just being around like-minded people, because, after we're going BOGO crazy and people haven't responded to us and they're telling us no, or whatever the case may be, we need to be around each other to be like, okay, you got this, you're okay. God, I even talk with my hands on camera. You guys can't see me, and I'm like, oh, crazy over here. I know, right? But we need each other. And so that's just such a really big deal too. So I encourage you guys to get these one teams. I believe there's another one in Ann Arbor area on June 2nd. And then Cammie is having hers, I believe it's June 23rd in Grand Rapids, Michigan. So that'll be another really good one. And I love getting to different one teams to hear from different leaders and different stories. And that's really what fuels my fire. But we also want to talk about this It Works cruise. You guys, the top point earner in It Works was an executive. Did you guys hear me? An executive. This is anybody's game. Anybody can get on the stinking cruise. We need to be looking at our charts. We need to be building those rubies, running with our rubies, helping people complete those steps of success, doing things the right way, and charting like crazy. And if you guys need help on any of this, reach out to myself, reach out to your, diamond upline. Let us know. We will help you, because there's a fast way to do it. And, I always like to say there's an old way to do it and the right way to do it. And I feel like I've learned my lesson the hard way through almost everything. And so just let us know, and we can take a peek at June 5th training in West Bloomfield. Yes, Megan. Yep. So let us know, and we can take a look at those as well with you and kind of give you our opinion. And then maybe you can talk to your diamond upline and they can give you their opinion, because ultimately it's your own business at the end of the day. But we just want to definitely give you guys some perspective on that, because charting is a big deal in this business. You could be sitting on all these distributors and already go diamond. So we want to make sure we're doing that. And yes, there is a training on June 5th in West Bloomfield that should be in all of the groups as well. So if you guys are available on that date, make sure you guys get to that. That's going to be an amazing training. Like I said, being around like-minded people is huge, but let's just bring the boom. Let's earn those It Works cruise points. If you guys need help with anything, reach out to us. We are here to help. Kristen just said tonight, if you guys have a stylist on the line or something, she can give you a couple of those nuggets, to help you out with that. And I just want to say thank you for every single person that was on, Chrissy. Thank you for being on with us all the way from Tennessee. And Kristen, I love you to pieces. I really, really
love you too. Thanks for having me on. You know what? I wrote down something earlier that I actually wanted to share really fast. And because you were talking about the cruise and like running for those points, but there is a big difference between competition mode and personal goal mode. Don't make it competitive. There's nothing worse than doing that, because competition gets in the way of being thoughtful and making friends in this business. And we all want to get to the top, but you don't want to get there alone. So the competitive side you can push that aside. We're all excited for the cruise, but make it just a personal goal. And if you don't reach it, that's okay. You don't have to, get down on yourself, because this has to do with other people too. The people that you're talking to, like I said, maybe it's not their time. So it is really exciting. And, I hope we're all on this cruise together, really, truly, but there's going to be another one, and then another one, and then there's going to be something else that comes out too. So run as hard as you can and as fast as you can, but make it really fun, because I think the more fun you have in it, you actually end up, people will start gravitating towards you anyway, because you're not in this like robot or have to get points, craziness. You're just making it really fun, and people want to be around fun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
I just wanted to add that, because I was putting notes in my phone, and I was, I just had a thought and thought I would share that with you guys.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I think that's huge. That's important. This is fun. This is a fun business, and keep it there.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And that's I always say, I'm like, there's always a right way to do things and a wrong way, and you do it the wrong way, and it's going to come back. And what Dana says, whatever is in the darkness will come to light. So just make sure you guys are keeping things on the up and up. I hear things, y'all.
I heard this too. A bad day with It Works is like 10,000 times better than a bad day at work, because a bad day with It Works, that's on yourself. Mm-hmm. A bad day at a company or working for somebody,
a bad day with It Works is better than a good day with like
a good day. Yeah.
Any other job.
Yeah. Because a bad day in this, it's on you. It's not on anybody else. A bad day at another job, that's somebody yelling at you. That's a coworker, saying something negative to you, and you can't go home and cry it out, or go take a hot shower, or jump in your pool, or you can't do that. But here, with a bad day, you take a couple hours for yourself and you come right back. You regroup, and then you're back on it. So keep working towards that, so that you can have every single day as an It Works day.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
I'm gonna roll. I don't know.
Keep it going. I like it.
It keeps coming.
Keep it coming. I love it. I love it. It's so, so, so true. And again, it just all comes back to mindset and how you deal with things. You know, I've had recently a couple of girls that signed up like 4 days ago, and they came back. Both of them were like, we've talked to everybody we know, and nobody wants to do this. My family doesn't think it's a good idea, so I think I need to quit. And I'm like, okay, well, I don't know what to tell you. Maybe it's just not your time, you know, so you have to remind them why they joined, you know, and I think that's a big thing too. We need to remember why we started this business, and we can look at that when we're having maybe some funks. You know, I see a lot of you working on your phones right now, which I stinking love, like, hearts all over the place for you guys working right now. But we need to look at those whys or our dream boards and things like that to know that we're going to get through this and it's going to be okay, because we all need to dream a little bit bigger and dream God-sized dreams, because it's going to be a reality for you when you really breathe life into that. And if you let those bad days and those bad moments or comments or things like that affect you, then they're winning. You are the winner. You are in control of your thoughts and feelings. So you pop a couple confianza, you look at your dream board, you remember your why, and you carry on.
And those people that you were talking about, don't get angry at those people. We have to be sensitive to those people, because I was there. I was like, man, this isn't really for, you know, I wouldn't be here if Amy had told me, you know what, I'm done with you, you know, work on yourself and get out of here. You know, she didn't do that to me. She was very, you know, like not nurturing, but just, you know, compassionate about my feelings. I didn't know if this was going to work for me because I didn't know anything about it. So she just guided me. And this is what we are as leaders. We have to keep guiding our team. And every single person is different. So don't treat everyone the same. You know, if someone comes to you with something, that's what do we call that? A high class problem? Like, that's what this business is all about. You know, if you have people asking you questions, good job. You know, that means that you're doing something right if they're coming to you. So take that as a good thing, and just be really sensitive to people's, you know, feelings in this. If they're saying that they want to, you know, it's not for them, or they want to quit, or my husband doesn't think this is really right for us. Try to be really sensitive and caring towards, you know, anybody's situation that they're in.
I think, like you're saying, people just need a sounding board sometimes, you know, like just to talk it out. And even like, I mean, you know, I'll come to you all the time. Like, yeah. Kristen, people are ignoring me, you know? And half the time I answer my own questions, but because you'll ask me like, so, okay, you know, have you tried this? But that's all we need a lot, right? We just need a sounding board. And I think like, it validates feelings, it validates thoughts, you know, and that we're not crazy. And like, this is a tricky type of business, and it's up and down like crazy. And you're right, your thoughts will take you to like the bad place. And so don't let them do it.
Right. It's better to talk it out and ask questions. And, you know, find that person.
Don't quit.
Don't quit. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, quitting is just that's dumb.
Yeah.
Don't be that. Don't do that.
Don't be dumb.
Don't be dumb. That's the dumbest thing you can do.
Hey, Kristen, do you have a house phone?
Yes.
I'm like, is that a house phone?
So, because, well,
what are those?
We're from Canada, y'all. You know, I mean, our whole family's call, and it's like, it will cost me like $1,000 a month to talk to them.
I didn't even think about that. Yeah, you're right.
Yep. Yeah, probably the only person in the state with a house phone.
My mom and dad still have one. It's okay.
My parents have one too. My parents have one still.
Oh my gosh. I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you so much. And I appreciate each and every one of you that was able to hop on tonight. For everybody from feeding their kids to working out, cooking dinner, working on your phones. We can do this business from anywhere. And so Jen Dempsey, thanks for those really cute baby. I know. Oh my gosh. He's getting so big. And Mr. Quincy was having a bad night tonight, so he was still up after baseball. So somebody struck out every time. See, and then you bring in the baby in. Hi.
Oh, look at his boo-boo face.
Y'all are killing me. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, you guys. And next week, we're going to have Katie Cole on with us, and she's going to give us some awesome expo tips. And as piggyback off from Chrissy's story, she's going to talk a little bit about what it's like being out of state, having her team out of state, and what we can do to keep everybody connected and keep that family feel. So I'm super excited for next week, but thank you so much, you guys. I really appreciate it. Have a good night, you guys. Thank you.